What is happening, guys? Long time no video for me, but 'tis the season to be getting the boat home here. Oh yeah, she's back in my parking lot, and I'll give you guys a little how I winterize my boat. It really needs power wash, but I'm not going to dick around with that right now. It's 75 degrees right now, Wednesday the, I don't know, 16th, maybe. I brought it home last Thursday. I'm going to put this camera on the stand here. I get the canvas peeled off, and I use compressed air to blow out the water system, and then I'll run some sea foam into the fuel tanks and let the motors run for a little bit and all that. But I'll give you guys a rundown. I may not be able to video all of it just because I won't be able to get the camera where I'm going, but I'll try. We'll see how it works out. So I'll turn you guys back on in a couple minutes when I get things set. Alright, well, I got the canvas off, and I'm kind of picking up the mess that's left on the boat so that I can even get to the winterization process here. Got lines laying all over the place from the dock. When they pull the boat out, they always take all your belongings, lines, fenders, shore power cord, and they put all that just wherever they can find a spot for it on your boat. Usually it's kind of a mad scramble when they're getting boats out, so no big deal. I just gotta roll this stuff up and get it out of the way because I'm kind of limited for space here, and I can't get the hatches up off the floor if I don't pick up all this stuff first. So that being said, we'll get this done real quick and getting to it. Hope everybody's doing okay. I have not had a spare moment to do a video, and tonight I've got a birthday dinner to go to for family, so I am kind of pressed for time here, but I want to get some of this done because it's nice out. The boat will be put away indoors here in about 2 weeks. It doesn't really take very long to blow out the water system and do the other stuff. I used to put antifreeze in it, but it sits inside, number one. Number two, not real keen on what the RV antifreeze does to the water system. It's alcohol based, so of course it fidgets with seals and things like that, especially with the head. Anything that's not nitrile, it's just plain butyl rubber or whatever the impellers are made out of, and the joker valve and that in the head. I'm constantly replacing it because it swells up that rubber. So because it sits inside, I don't find it to be a huge deal. Alright, so let's see where I can put this camera. This is going to be interesting at best. Okay, you gotta get that floor hatch open. Of course, I got a ratchet strap on the transom in this boat that's in my way, but we'll get this going. And let's see, sorry about the shaky cam, fellas. I'm gonna take that back off the stand because that ain't gonna work. Bear with me. Whoa, hey now. Good thing there's a handy dandy carrying strap on this. Alright, so we're gonna go down in the bilge to winterize, and it's kind of dark down in here, but you can see the freshwater pump right there, and just over the top of the hot water tank, that white tank is the water tank. So the first thing I'm going to do, let's see if I can hold this and show you guys. Oh, it is so dark down in here. Is I am going to take the inlet side, which is the side with the strainer, off of the pump, and whatever's in the water tank is going to run right into the bilge, which is no big deal. Which probably isn't really anything in that tank because I pumped it dry. Alright, that's pretty good news. There's a little bit of water dribble in that strainer, which I'm not going to be able to get off real easy. Okay. That line coming out the back of the pump is the line that I usually charge with air. And we also have a hot water tank in the equation, which is, let me back up here, which is that dude right there. I'm also going to take the line with the T right there is the inlet water line. The other side is the hot outlet. I am going to disconnect those, and there's a little petcock right there, and I'm going to open that right now, and I guarantee that smells like swamp ass in that hot water tank. That hot water tank does not work, but it fills itself up. I guess I could have bypassed it. Oh yeah, that smells awesome. Alright, so let that drain out because there's always pressure on that. I need to replace that hot water tank, but for that kind, which is, let's see, that says Seaward, those are about 300 bucks. They're kind of chintzy. I want an isotherm, which are about 700 bucks. But I don't know that I'll keep the boat long enough to get my money out of that particular one, so I will I'll make a decision on that. I'm tired of not having hot water though. Usually on a 90-degree day, the hose that's hanging up next to the boat on the dock will be full of hot water, and you can usually take a shower with your swim trunks on and be done with it. But I would like to have some hot water on this boat, if nothing more to shave with, or, you know, scrub your hands or whatnot. Beats having to walk to the bathhouse, which really isn't that far away, but it's nice to have. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go open up my furthest faucet, which is in the galley, and that will be a cold water faucet, because we're going to charge the cold water side of the system first. That's funny, there's still a residual pressure in there, but I've got the air hose hanging up behind the boat. So we're going to drag this thing onto the boat. Hopefully you guys are getting some of this, instead of me just dragging a shaky camera all over creation here. And stand by, I'm going to cut you loose for 1 second and put you back on the... Alright, hopefully you guys can get what's going on with that. That is... The tripod is now collapsed as tiny as it will go, and it is sitting on top of the hot water tank. Where am I at? Oh yeah. Disconnect the cold water here. Actually, we're going to leave the hot water tank hooked up. We're going to do it through the pump, the discharge side of the pump. Maybe. There we go. At least it's not 95 degrees down here. It's stinking like hell. Okay. So you guys can probably... My problem is I can't see the viewfinder side of the screen to see if you can see what I'm looking at. I'm only guessing. I'm pretty sure you can. So, I'm going to charge this with shop air. And that water is actually coming out of the hot water tank right now. what was happening there is water was actually coming out of the cold water side of the, the hot water side of the tank. It was looping back around. I do have a cold faucet open. I will probably just leave that hot water tank open for the winter. I am now going to close that petcock on the hot water tank, and I'm going to charge that line. And we should hear water coming out my faucet now. Let's go give that a look and see if any water sprayed out in the sink. There may not have been enough in there to go. It's certainly an interesting up and down situation. Alright, let's see what we got here. We got any spit from the water in the sink? Oh yeah, there's some splashes there. Okay, well, we know that worked. Now we're going to... That's the pressure that's backed up in the hot water tank. So we're now going to charge that hot water tank again with some more air and make sure it blew that through. And we'll check the other faucets too, just to be double safe. So this has got to be absolutely boring as shit, but it's something that's got to be done, so. Okay, I hear it gurgling air. Okay, the next plan of attack here is now to close those faucets, try my other ones that are actually before it. Maybe I should have blown those out first, but I always bounce back and forth just to check. Again, the boat sits inside. I just don't want that funky ass water sitting in there all winter. Okay, hot water will be getting turned off. That's off. I think we're going to just open them both up and charge it and see what happens. Can only loop back to my air source, which is fine. Don't bother me none. Besides, the whole antifreeze thing is kind of funking up your system. The other thing is it's expensive and it's wasteful. But if it's the only way you have to do it, then I suggest you do it, because you don't want things to freeze and burst. Okay, I think we're done with the water system at this point. So the next thing that's going to happen is I'm going to take you off the stand first. We're going to put some sea foam in each fuel tank. I don't know if there's enough light to see it. Probably not. That bad boy is one fuel tank right there. Let's make sure that's zoomed out. That's 100 gallons. That's the port tank. And there's you can see the strap and you can see the label on it. That's the starboard tank. That's another 100 gallons. This boat holds 200 gallons. and then one 350 Chevy Mercruiser, 260 horse, starboard engine, standard rotation. Port engine is actually a reverse rotation motor. They did not reverse the rotation with the transmission. Why, I have no idea, but that's a whole other story. I changed starters on these motors because they were getting really weak, and my guy brought me 2 starters and put them on, and the port motor kept backfiring through the carb, and it took me about a day of screwing around with it before I realized it was spinning the thing the wrong goddamn way. It ripped the raw water impeller and everything. So after fixing that, we were up and running again. Let's see, pump some of this water out here too. That's actually the high water bilge pump right there that I manually lifted because it floats much higher. Batteries are a bit low too, it sounds like. I hate how that's all the water it'll pump out of here. Oh, and then that's at the back of the boat. That's the standard bilge pump, and then there's actually another one just under the steps before you go into the cabin, and then a 4th one under the stairs in the cabin that runs the shower too. So, all right, I'm done with the water system for now. I'm gonna get this thing juiced up with some sea foam and run it for a little bit. Sometimes I'll actually spray fogging oil down the carburetors. I'm not going to do it. It sits inside heated storage. It only sits for 4.5, 5 months, so I kind of gave up on that a while ago. I just got tired of screwing with it. Change oil in the spring and deal with all that. But alright, so that's where we're at with that. I'll come back in a little bit. Kids, next plan of attack, I've got sea foam in the fuel tanks. We're going to start these inboard motors. Now, this is the way I do it. They make adapters that look like a kind of like a toilet plunger that are adjustable, and you put them in the raw water intake up underneath the boat so that it pushes up against the bottom of the hull and seals around that raw water intake. The way I do it, and then you would hook the hose up to it, of course. The way I do it, I close the seat cock, which is nothing but a big ball valve that is in the off position. Straight up and down is the on position. So I close that off. There's the strainer right there. And because that's off for the raw water side coming into the boat, I can stick a hose down in here and draw water. They actually make adapters that screw over the top. I thought about making one, but here's the cap. It's bronze. I could probably drill one of those and tap it for hose threads, which is great and all, but those caps are expensive as hell. So I haven't done it yet. I had a makeshift one that I made out of an adjustable stopper plug for like plumbing, but it didn't work all that good. So we're just going to stick the hose down in there, which happens to be right here. And of course water's going to run everywhere until that motor starts. And I'll show you that that actually works. And the way you know it works is there's water pumping out of the exhaust. We already sniffed for gas fumes. There are no gas fumes. I'm gonna have to pull some more canvas off here. Okay, starboard motor, which is the one we have the water going into. We're gonna give it a. Let's see if the batteries are. Oh, they sound okay. Let's see what happens. All right. Bear with me, I'm going to put that camera right down there for a second. Really? I got a solenoid that's getting pissed off at me too. Oh, shut up. That's the low oil pressure alert, which comes on when the motor's not running, and it's been on the on position for a little bit. Really? You're gonna fight me like that? Alright, well fuck you then. We'll start the other one. And of course we see we got water pouring into the bilge because that hose is just running wide open. Do 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 do. Oi. That's the port engine right there. Let's see if I can't get that loose. I just have them hand tight, and they've never ever leaked on me. There we go. Try and aim it towards what I'm doing instead of toward the ground so you guys can see. Alright, swing it over there. Give myself a little slack in the hose. And of course that seacock is also closed. That's the worst part about it, all the up and down climbing. Okay. Try this again, a little pump action. Like it matters, because that battery's probably not charged enough. And that's all it takes. There's that motor, 70 pounds of oil pressure at idle, charging. And when that thermostat opens and it gets up to 145, we'll shut her down. There's the through hull exhaust. Water's pouring right through it, so we know that's working. So we'll sit here and let that run for a minute, and we'll do the same thing with the other motor when I figure out how to get it started. Hopefully that'll give it enough charge. I don't quite trust the fuel gauges. That one's telling me I got like a touch under 3/4. So in theory, that would be probably 60 to 70 gallons in that tank. And I only put 1 can of seafoam in there, which is good for 8 to 25 gallons. But some is better than none as far as I'm concerned. I've also gone times of not using any. One thing I don't ever do is put pump gas in the boat. We've got pretty much every station has got 10% or better ethanol in it, so I don't put it in the boat. It does have aluminum fuel tanks, but I don't want to find out what that'll do to all my fittings and rubber hoses and things of that nature. Try and put Velvethamma fuel in it when I can, and our marina doesn't have it. You have to go elsewhere. So I kind of mix and match. I'll get some at the marina and some over in West Harbor, which has Velvethamma at about every station that they have on the water, which is cool. So that being said, I don't know what else is going on. Leaves are coming down. It's been crappy weather. It's been down in the 50s and 40s at night. We had some freezing weather last week, but I'm glad to have the boat home and out of the water and get it ready for its winter nap here. It's going to take a minute for that engine to warm up. And then after this engine is done, what I will do is I'll show you on the starboard engine. It's got a Vernalift muffler, which has a little drain plug in the bottom of it, so you can let the water out of that too. So that's another step. And basically, that's all I'm going to do to prepare this thing for winter. I may flush out the head with some good fresh water. I had them do it at the marina, but chances are they may or may not have done it. They may have said, fuck you, and just pulled it out of the water. We had a lot of boats to pull. One thing I want to do this winter is pull both these carbs off. It's got quadrajets on it, and they've got divorced choke on them, which you can probably see if I zoom in a little bit. You can see right on between the R and the C on the Mer Cruiser right there. is the divorce choke. It's a heat riser style choke that bolts to the manifold. Oop, there we go. This thing runs really rich. I don't think the chokes are opening all the way when it warms up. So I am going to get rid of those. I found them online for like 50 bucks, 45 bucks free shipping. So I figured that's actually not such a bad deal. I'm going to do that this winter and go through the carbs. It did rebuild the port engine carburetor when it had the wrong starter motor on it, and it ran it the wrong direction and it was backfiring through it. But it's not a Holly, so it's not like it blew out the power valve when it backfired. I had that carb apart, I bet 10 times thinking there was something wrong, that it was backfiring. It acted like the timing was wrong. Well, hell yeah, the timing was wrong because it was spinning at 360 degrees the wrong direction. At any rate, we can see right there from the temp gauge that we are almost up to temp. That thermostat should open any minute. Let's see if we can see down in the strainer here without falling in the hole. Maybe not. Let's see. Let's try it from this direction. You can see it is not running out of water. The water is right up to the top. It is pulling water through quite well. So, you know, this method of being able to give your boat cooling capacity while it's on land does work. It may not be the proper method to do it, but it does work. And at any rate, that's what I'm going to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little segment. We'll get this one uploaded for you because it's going to be super long and super fucking boring. But God bless you if you watch it. So everybody take care. We'll catch you on the next one. I got some body work coming up, so we'll catch you on that.